Hey, everybody. So we are back. It's October 28th. We have the full moon, blood moon today and tomorrow. And um, today's card, the second card I pulled, She of the Lotus. And as I mentioned in my other video, I was pulling these for me, realized it was for the collective. And so if you want to access this oracle book, it's Beyond Lemuria by Izzy Ivy. And in this um in this card, it talks about the shadow work, addressing the dissonance, like cognitive dissonance, where something just seems like it can't resonate because it seems like it's so far from the truth. Seeing downfalls as the flip side um, of superpowers, and loving yourself back to wholeness, the beautiful lotus that grows from murky waters, and disempowering triggers, bringing light into your dark corners. Um, so let's talk about this. So when you look at your shadow, meaning when you look at the things that you don't like about yourself, that maybe you've been judged for, criticized for, you can take that and make it your strength. For instance, someone said to me that they wanted to introduce me to a friend of theirs who had multiple um, brain injuries, and they just wanted to get together to chat. And I said I couldn't because they just wanted to go and be friends, but I'm a healer. So what am I called to do? I'm called to heal. And she goes, well, I wouldn't bring you someone who's an energy vampire. And I said, well, yeah, that kind of doesn't make a difference whether they're an energy vampire or not. I feel every little last thing. Like I'm a walking, breathing antenna. And so my shadow is that I'm ultra sensitive, and it prohibits me from being in relationship, sometimes just a general easygoing relationship. But the flip side to that is that because I'm so sensitive, I can pick up on what's going on and help you heal yourself, right? I can bring in the guides, I can do those things. And so I could make myself wrong for being so ultra sensitive, or I can look at the gift that it's wrapped inside. And so look at yourself, look at what that looks like for you. And then um, they also talk about when we, and here's some cool snippets, right? It says, when we discard any part of ourselves, we are throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Often our greatest strengths are our greatest weaknesses, and vice versa, like I was just mentioning. When we reject or deny parts of ourselves, we end up feeling hollow, lost, and detached. And when we take them out of the trash and work with them through compassion, gentleness, honesty, and non judgment, we can shine a light on these shadows and see them for what they are. Incredibly, she says, my perceived weakness vanished. This is really cool. My perceived weakness vanished as I peeled the layers further and further back to explore the past experiences that accompanied them. And then she says, accepting the shadows enough to bring them into the daylight was usually all it took for them to dissipate. Their power, meaning their power over you, their power over me, right, dissolved, and I could see them for what they were, or rather, were not. So often we give our power away. Um, and I'm going to go to what the divine has to say with this. It says, take a look at any unconscious patterns that may be running you, right? Who's running your show? Are you being conscious about what you're doing, or are you on autopilot? Like, we're always on autopilot at some point in time. Most of us are on autopilot most of the time. It's when we go into that meditative state and we bring in source energy, then we can really move forward with greater intention. And we establish that intention during that meditative state, and then we can run with that. So again, going back to the divine, are there elements of yourself you need to take out of the trash, dust off, and reabsorb? Shadows can be painful or tender to the touch. Sensitivity in the area can be a trigger that shows us where we might want to spring clean some of our darker, forgotten, ignored, or hidden corners. And she says, accepting our shadow is the first stage in restoring ourselves to wholeness, in self love. Peel back the layers where there is shame, guilt, or fear and bring them into the daylight. Under a loving and compassionate light, they will resolve and reassimilate so you can re engage with your superpowers. And so, what I'll just end with this is that, you know, where is it that you find yourself not in alignment with source and not connected? Because if you can stay connected with source and stay embodied and stay balanced, then you can breathe into that and hear and be present in the moment and live your life on purpose. Thanks.